What up, Grizz Nation? Welcome back to another Grizz 901, your Memphis Grizzlies post-game show. And listen, if you're coming in here just like me, a little caught off guard, a little too much, too quick. The Grizzlies had the last shot to win the game just overall within this game of what happened. Jaren Jackson Jr. goes out very early with a turned ankle in the game. And then we get a performance, a triple-double out of a guy like Desmond Bane. Plays well the entire night. And in all honesty, was probably the best player on the court throughout the entire night. But the Grizzlies end up losing 132 to 130 in a game that ended with a potential last shot to go up. Was a missed dribble, wasn't great, and a complete turnover for the Grizzlies and Desmond Bane there, and then giving out a run out to a last second shot by Karis LeVert, who completely just dominated that game as, a guy off the bench, a guy that, played well. But 3 games in a row, the first time in all season that the Grizzlies lose 3 games. And so it's a tough pill to swallow. We're going to get through it, and we're going to do our best. Nate is here with me tonight. We're going to do our best to try to talk you off the ledge. We do have a fun night. I put together the GrizzleVerse 2.0. GrizzleVerse is here. We have it ready to go. We're going to do that in the second segment, and then we're going to have Brian, who helps us out as always, as the look ahead to Wednesday night. And yes, if you did not know, it is the Thunder. Ja's hurt, no Ja tonight. Jaren is hurt. He rolled his ankle. And then Desmond Bane, a great performance overall, but ends up doing what he did in the very end of the game. So there's going to be a lot to discuss throughout the entire night. It's going to be the longest show of the entire season overall. But let's go ahead and get it started. All right, for just like Lauren is saying here, talk me off the ledge, no doubt. Like that is exactly where I'm at, and I know you're there. But for a second, I know you're the same way. Cheers.
This team's cooked. Ugh.
Yeah, we're gonna need this all night. All right, so let's get to the game overall. The Grizzlies do lose 132 to 130. Just disgusting. I don't know. Off top rope, man. Nate, what you got? And welcome back, by the way. We missed you last week.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, honestly, I didn't hate it. I will say I missed a good chunk of the first half, wrapping up family stuff. One of the first things I see is GG just getting completely lost on defense, and I'm like, brother, please quit getting lost on defense. We want to see you play so much. We want to see you play
so much. I love GG, but my God, bro, like
please quit getting lost on defense.
Yes.
Vince hit 3 of his 5 threes, which I was like, if Vince can make a bunch of threes, that helps your playoff rotation so much. Dez had a triple-double and carried on a night where Jaren played 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you get to the last minute, and I'm just like, we are so effed. As soon as it was within basically 2 possessions with a minute and a half left, I was like, we're so screwed, man.
Like, all right, so what happened there? Because I saw it, but I just
what happened where? Which part, Daniel?
Desmond Bane, the very end. I'm just laughing at the fact that, like, I want to see it again, so I'm trying to find the stuff, and I got a text message.
Dyson Daniels just took it away.
But did he take it away?
Yes. Yes, he took it away. But it's one of those that wouldn't crush you if you hadn't just experienced the weekend we just experienced, and Jaren just got hurt going into a game against
he did. Yeah.
Because it's like 3 games in a row where you just didn't get it done.
Yeah.
Late in the game. Which, I'll be honest, if we want to rehash the weekend real quick, I didn't watch the Spurs game. Jay Huff checked in and I checked out.
I saw 0 minutes of it. I know I was doing something with the family. I do not remember what we were doing, but it was not. I didn't even know they played, honestly.
I'm not kidding. Jay Huff checked in, and I was like, I'm not turning this on. I love Jay Huff at the beginning of the year, but I was like, brother,
Yeah.
Like Jay Huff against De'Aaron Fox pick and roll ain't gonna do much better than Zach Edey against De'Aaron Fox pick and roll. So and then I checked in, they were down by 20, and I was like, okay, family's here. I'm not gonna be rude like I was last night with the Knicks. And I turned the game back on at 128. That's the time I turned the game back on. So I don't really know what happened there.
Yeah.
So the Knicks game was a disgusting loss.
That's the thing is, like, if you look at both of these games, I watched the highlights. I know enough about it to talk about both, but I honestly, just like D'Angelo Quinn saying, like, I just don't understand. Like, it's just the last two games were one possession games, and you lose both. This game is a one possession game with the ball in your hand in a tied game, and you still figure out a way to lose. Now, I know everybody wants to crap on the coaching staff. I've had a lot of fun today, a lot of interacting, a lot of
Did you get on Twitter
engagement.
Again?
Yeah, it's been fun. I enjoy it. If you come at me on Twitter, I'm gonna come back at you. I do not take anything to offense. If you want to talk about my numbers on my podcast on Grizz 901, feel free. I'm going to make fun of you at some point, but I enjoy it. And so we've had some fun today, just kind of going through it. This tonight was not on coaching in my assessment of the entire game, but like back to back to back, it's just like the Grizzlies, the fans need a break. And that's the worst part of this is you can blame this on anybody you want, whatever. Everybody deserves blame, but my God, this is gross. And yes, Lauren, he has a snow globe.
Listen.
Why do you have a snow globe? It's effing March.
I live in Utah. I literally just got back from Park City. So
what does that mean?
It means there's a lot of snow. It snowed today.
You're not at the North Pole.
It snowed today.
So?
Stop. Just stop. Just stop. All right. Brother. Taylor Jenkins cannot get it right at the end of the game. He can't. He can't. Like I know it's like the hot topic amongst it, but then I mean, the Knicks thing was egregious.
Oh,
because
they did the same thing as San Antonio.
Well, I didn't really watch San Antonio, so I don't.
So they did the exact same. Vince played the I don't know, like a safety valve, whatever. I call him a rover, whatever you want to call him. He played in the very middle again and played the exact same defense. That was the problem.
Well, besides the point, the defense was terrible. Like it was just a bad call at the end of the Knicks game. What kills me is the 8-second violation. Like you can't be a fan.
That was
like as a fan, I didn't realize the shot clock was running down. Your job is to not be a fan with 30-something seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
That was really the thing that I was like, brother, you can't have that happen. But then tonight, after all the times he's taken timeouts at the end of these games, how do you not take a timeout here? Desmond Bane has been turning the ball over. He's clearly tired. He's clearly just throwing up shots. Your team needs something drawn up at that point. Like the offense has completely sputtered out. You can't get it figured out. And then you don't call a timeout. After all the times you do call a timeout.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can say whatever happened in this game. I only got to watch the second half. It all broke down late, and that's what happens when you don't have a point guard in the game, and it's Desmond Bane, and things start getting tight. Bane was awesome tonight. Like this is not one of those this loss is on Desmond Bane, which I did see that somewhere already. But
and honestly, like not to interrupt you completely, but like I hate that because it's a triple-double night. He was the only reason that they were really in that game, just overall.
Yes.
But that one play, that will be an indictment on his entire game is tonight.
But see, even that, I'm like, Taylor's got to know to call time out there. Like I'm sitting there and like I'm king of the just go play ball. Let it be chaos. Don't let them set their defense.
I want to agree with you, but I mean, I want to disagree with you, but I want to let you get your point off first. But I do disagree.
I just think you have to call a timeout there because your team cannot get into an offense, and nothing good has happened for you 5 possessions in a row. It's been all turnovers or terrible shots, and you're not going to get anything different. It's going to be Desmond Bane 1-on-1, and then what happened.
Yeah. All right. So let me go back on that. let me ask you before I completely just like go into it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When would you have called the timeout on that possession?
I was calling for a timeout as soon as they got the rebound, but I don't remember how much time was on the clock.
If you call a timeout once they get the rebound, I'm okay with that. It was like 12 seconds or so, or maybe 10. I don't exactly know, but it was around the 10 area. The issue is once you get into an offense of some sort and you're under 8, maybe 6, like 8 and 7 I'm okay with, but under 6, I let that play out for the simple reason is you getting the ball in is an issue. Like what if they throw out a defense that is a little weird, it trips you up, and one, you can't get the ball in. I don't know how many timeouts we had overall left. Do you know if we had 1 or 2 left?
I have no idea how many were left.
Okay, so let's say we only had 1. Okay. He said, okay, Keith says we had 2 timeouts. Then you can call another timeout. The problem is once you get the ball in, your actions happen, and that's great. The problem is, as like a coach, in my opinion, I do not trust anything under 6 to call a timeout because at that point, you're running action. And at some point, you're getting the ball in and you're under 5 once you catch it and think. Like, so at that point, you're going to have to make you're just going straight to the goal. And so, yes, that does help you to potentially force an overtime. I think Ray Shimbo said that, yeah, you could have forced an overtime at that point. But are we playing for overtime in all honesty? Like, I'm not trying to play for overtime. I'm trying to win the game. But I understand you don't want to lose the ball either. But that wasn't a thought. That wasn't a thought that went through my mind. And probably the coaching staff is my best player on the court is going to lose the ball going to the rim.
Well, then you didn't watch the last 3 minutes of the game. That's the point. Like, it's not like, hey, they've been cooking. It's been going great. It's been whatever. And all of a sudden, like, okay, we're going to call a timeout. Like, it's not like, oh, we have Ja Morant doing Ja Morant things.
Yeah.
Like, Desmond Bane's been going off all night, but it's been tough sled. Like, there's a reason they cut down a 13-point lead with however many minutes left. And you couldn't score anymore. So you have been turning the ball over, and you have been taking bad shots. But listen, all of this to say, like, Dez played awesome tonight. I saw a lot of good stuff in all of these games that can encourage you from a team standpoint in the long run. Like Jaren getting a 40-piece, just willing that team into this first game.
You shouldn't win.
Ja Morant looking like Ja Morant.
You shouldn't win.
And it's been a few games in a row. Ja Morant's looking like Ja Morant. Tonight, Desmond Bane looking awesome. Vince making threes. You still can't defend a 3-point line, but whatever.
Yeah.
But in all of it, it's like the problems that we said at the beginning of the season. This is make or break year for Taylor Jenkins. Is he going to figure this out or not? No. It's all pointing in the wrong direction. It's all pointing in the wrong direction for him.
I agree. And that's the problem is like the worst possible time to have a spot in the season where when you completely just start playing bad basketball, you start getting bad habits, you start doing, the worst things you could possibly do. It's the first time they've had a 3-game losing streak, and you're about to walk into another home game against the best team in basketball, more than likely, but also, just in general, the West. And so it is an issue. And potentially I chalk Wednesday night up to a loss unless somehow, some way you can get a good whistle or not be as good for Shea. But also if you can get, Ja back and Ja plays well and you can get a good Bane game, you're probably not getting Jaren back. And I would assume that he's out at least a week. I would assume.
I didn't see the injury. I don't know how bad it
was. So it didn't completely turn over. So it didn't look like a ligament issue, like in my opinion. Like it touched, but it wasn't like a complete like roll over, like, oh my God, like that thing touched the ground. But it wasn't great. I don't think it's like a longer. I don't think it's long. I don't know about the long, but I know the short is they're probably going to do at least a week or so at minimum. But you're getting to the last 21 games of the season. Like that's where we're at. The last quarter of the season should be the time that you play your best basketball. They're not, and that's understood. And so the fans have every right to kind of lose their mind. And I'm down. Listen, Astronomo himself has went off the ledge, jumped twice, and he's still here. We're still saving him from himself. But it's just a season that will be looked at, and we've said this way too many times, that there's a lot of regret, but we'll figure it out. We're closing in on the end, but I think that there will be a lot left to play for. It just all depends on whether or not this team can kind of get it together in the last 20 games. But I have some people in here. There's so many comments. I can't thank y'all enough. This is a small show, isn't as big as other shows for sure, but it's going so fast in the comments, I can't get to everybody's comments. So if you have something you want to say or a question you have, put up a super chat. We'll make sure we prioritize that as always, but I'm going to try to get through these as much as we possibly can, just in general. But I did see a question here from Kip. Why didn't Santi play? I don't know.
Calf soreness.
What is it?
Calf soreness.
Is it calf? Okay.
Yeah.
That's why. Him and Josh had shoulder soreness, and so both those guys are out for those reasons. So I don't know, and that showed up late.
I only have the injury report for that. No analysis.
Yeah, that's it.
Got the injury report.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm confused, and this is a game that they should have won. But realistically, Nate, if I was to say this is game 42 and Ja was out, Santi's out, you have Jaren that's going to go out in the first couple minutes of the game. Are you that worried about it? Just game 42 and our season's gone the way it's gone so far. Would you be worried about this game?
No, of course not.
That's the issue. Yeah.
But it's not game 42.
That's the other issue.
Yeah, I mean that's thing you like, and if this game in a vacuum is not that big of a deal.
Right.
None of these games in a vacuum are that big of a deal, but you're trending the wrong way. Like it's not, you're playing close games. It's not like you're getting blown out or something crazy, but you're sitting there and you're in these tight games back to back to back, and you lose all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, one of which your star player hits a and one to go ahead, and you still find a way to blow it. Like it's to go up by a full possession. It's just like it's just going the wrong way, and it seems to all trend towards poor decisions.
Yeah,
in the clutch, poor decision. Like it's like the team's playing well. Team's playing well enough to win. Now the Spurs game looked like an abject disaster until late, but team's playing well enough, and you just can't get it right.
Yep.
And listen, it's not all it's not on Taylor Jenkins. If you have vets in that locker room, like instead of rookies, things like, listen, you could get away with a little bit of it, but we said at the beginning of the year, like, don't go into the season with a rookie center.
Yeah.
For sure, don't go into the playoffs with the rookie center. Well, brother, we're not playing Marvin Bagley, clearly. So guess what we're gonna do? Going into it with the rookie center.
Yeah.
And you get what you're gonna get with that. You're too young. Your star players have to be so much more than they should have to be for that to be the case. And so rosters makes it tough. Taylor Jenkins, listen, it's all about the playoffs. So Taylor Jenkins makes a huge turnaround in the playoffs. Everything's a different conversation. Yep. But I don't think any of us expect that to be the case. Coaching's tough. Getting injuries at the wrong time. It's bad.
And that's listen. And speaking of the Taylor Jenkins stuff, and I'll say that there is a lot to be left desired by him, just in general. Like he makes a lot of dumb decisions that seem so simple. And I give him the benefit of the doubt on a lot of those questionable calls, especially during the middle of the regular season, because as a coach, you're just trying to throw something against the wall and hoping something sticks. You might try a different lineup here, and you might have reasonings here, and you might go to it a couple of times just to give it a little bit. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm never against, I don't care about rotations for the most part, as long as you end up coming back to what works. And that's all I care about. And so this is the time that I am going to be very much, and a lot of people that may have saw, Chris Vernon today going off. I align a lot with probably his thinking is I'm okay with most of what happens and most of what decisions are being made by the coaching staff, the front office, whatever, as long as it all lines up to make sense at the end of the season, right? The problem is we're into the end of the season and there's things that aren't being figured out. Now, tonight, you're without Ja, you're without Jaren, you're without Santi. That's 3 of your top 8. So it's going to be a little weird, and so a lot of stuff like that, I just kind of look the other way. But like, there can't be as many bad decisions, especially in a late game, high leverage situations. That's where it comes down to, and at that point, you have to question the coaching, and I'm okay with that. So we'll see about Taylor Jenkins, but in the end of the day, no matter what happens, the Grizzlies will be in the playoffs. Okay. So if you do fast forward it and the Grizzlies play well in the first round, I think you can kind of get a little bit of take a deep breath. Let's get to the second round. We're so far from that. I don't want to push us too far in the future, but just kind of giving everybody an understanding of kind of where my thinking is just overall. I'm an idiot. I agree, but I just wanted to let everybody know kind of where I'm thinking at. I know you got some comments you want to pull up.
Well, I just want to say on Alvaro. I was just like trying to say 5 different ways at one time. Listen, I took a lot of drinks really fast towards the end of that game. Sorry, I just butchered your name. But there was a lot that went really well tonight. Like I said, I've been encouraged by a lot. I think Edey has had a ton of good minutes in these games. Like, going all the way back to the Cavs game, the second half of that game, I think a ton has gone really well for him. And that's what makes all this stand out all the more is so many guys are doing so much really well and you're still not getting it done. And that's what's really tough about this. And I'm with Lauren on this. Like, we don't know what we're getting night in and night out.
Yeah.
You just don't. Like, you don't know which Grizzlies team you're going to get.
Is that because of the coaching and putting them into bad positions, bad rotation, or is it just inconsistency from the players not living up to what we expect them because we've seen certain things?
I think it is
both.
I think it is a result. Easy. I saw someone say I just had a stroke. No way, no. I didn't just have a stroke, but it sure felt like it for a minute. I can't bring that comment up, but it's hilarious. Sorry, that could be wrong. I think it is a result of not really knowing what you're doing on any given night. It seems like guys have been popping in and out of this lineup, partially due to injuries.
That's the other thing is, yeah.
Partially due to injuries, right? Like injuries, both to guys who didn't play all year, a la Gigi, a la Vince. Guys who just been out at weird times, like Ja and Santi, BC, just little things here and there. But we said this at the very beginning of the season. And we talked about all this at the beginning of the season. Like, it's hard for you to be a role player in this league and not know what your role is on any given night. And minutes distribution can be all over the place depending on who's performing.
Okay.
Which, to an extent, you're okay with. But you got to have a core group of guys that knows exactly what you're doing night in and night out.
But they can't because literally we can't keep guys in the lineup.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, John Morant hasn't played 6 games in a row in the last 3 seasons.
Not going. Okay. When your guys played, it's not hard. It shouldn't be hard to know what your role is when your guys are in. And there have been plenty of games this season for you to know exactly what that is. There's been plenty of games with Ja and Dez and Jaren. Like, okay, you have little guys here and out, like area there. Like, okay, you have the entire roster except for Santi one night. That doesn't change very much for you. You have the entire roster besides, I don't think Jalen Wilson's missed a game. Brandon Clark for one night. That it doesn't change all that drastically for you. But you go into these games night in, night out. It doesn't feel like there's an identity. They don't know what they're doing on defense. There's no communication.
That's on them. Do you think they have an earpiece? Like, yes, Taylor Jenkins. All right, I should slide to the corner here. All right, I need to cover. I need to cover the top.
Sometimes that's okay because they've been out. But yeah, Daniel, I'm not doing this with you. Yes. Otherwise, guys get paid $5 to hold a clipboard. You have a job to do.
Right.
I'm not doing
They're
this with you tonight.
professionals.
I'm not doing this with you tonight. No.
You're doing it.
I need my kids start crying so I can go get away from this. This is ridiculous. Yes, the coach has to do something, or else we get paid $5 to hold a clipboard. Your job is for your players to know what they are doing.
Correct.
Your job is to make the tough late game decisions and to know what's going on so your players.
We're not talking about late game decisions. You're talking about defense.
No, we're bringing it all full circle, which I understand you don't want to do.
This isn't the circle of life. You can't play Hakuna Matata. Like this is like, in all honesty, like these are professionals. If they can't play defense, because if you're a coach and you say, hey, this is the game plan, this is what you're going to do, this is how the rotations, this is how we do it. This is the like he's had a best defense pretty much the last 5 seasons, if not all of every season he's been coaching. And then all of a sudden, and we're just can't figure it out. Like, what are we doing?
Yes, Daniel. Because it is your job to make sure they know where they're going, and they don't. Which, if you want to hate, G.G. Jackson is 19 years old. I don't know if he's 20.
He doesn't know he's playing basketball. He's probably playing basketball.
You want to say Daniel is here, and he doesn't know where he's going. That's okay. For the entire team to have these miscommunications all the time.
Okay.
No, that's it. That's it. That is the point. That is the point. That is the point. I don't know what you want me to say. Like,
so that's what you're going with. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I see so many flaws in the coaching staff. I hate the offense. I'm on record. In the preseason, I was saying I hate the offense, but you know what? Let me jerk off one for the coaching staff. Oh my God, because I'm a TJ truther. But like, the offense sucks. And the defense has sucked. Why? Why has the defense sucked, Nate? Oh, let me answer that for you. Because there's these new guys in the rotation every other night. Oh, Nate, let me answer the other question for you. Why? Because they're hurt.
Night anymore. We're not at game 40.
Okay, then play a game, Ja. Don't be a Virginia.
Why are you turning this into something it's not?
I'm just saying, in all honesty.
If you're in game 30 or 40 or 50, really 50 is getting up to be too high, actually. But we're not in game 30 or 40. Like, we're at the end of the season. We're in the last stretch of the season. And guys don't know what's going on. That's it. Like, you've had a full season plus a full off season to get this stuff on the same page, and it's not.
Maybe they need to draft people that aren't complete idiots. I don't know.
Okay, dude.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
All right.
I'll pray for the playoffs. I hope it goes well.
I pray that you're still here next week.
I probably won't be. Honestly, I'm for sure not here on Friday. So, cheers.
Imagine that, a Friday game and you're not showing up.
Yeah, got a few more to go to, but go ahead. Shit on it.
We have a super chat. Let me ask you this, Daniel. What other coach on another playoff team in this league would get away with this consistent lack of late game execution? Now, this I will agree with, Keith. I don't know if you do, but if you looked at these teams in general and let's say you're a fan of Boston, the Celtics. The Celtics fan base, the season they won the championship, they did not like their coach because there was a lot of late game execution, a lot of dumb decisions made. In all honesty, it was a lot of like just bad coaching just in general. Now, I am not a fan of that team, and so I haven't followed them closely, but their fan base is losing their minds. Us on the outside say, not a big deal. Like, it's fine. But the problem is when you're a fan, you overanalyze everything. And so, yes, I do think that I'm on record. There's actual video of me saying that I do not understand the late game execution, the late game decisions, the non-gut feeling of Taylor Jenkins. That's where his flaws really lie, is really the important decisions, and which are everybody understands that. Um, the problem is I think this happens more than we realize, but just because we're in this tunnel, I think we see it more than other fans see it in our coach.
Oh, 100%. Actually, like in the middle of the season when people were destroying Taylor Jenkins I was like, I don't know why you're mad at him right now. This was the exact thing I thought of, was how much Boston hated Joe Mazzulla, and who was it? KOC was pissing all over him, saying how terrible of a hire he was, and yada yada yada. Then he went and won a championship with them, and now everybody loves him. Right? He's just like borderline darling to the NBA now. And when stuff happens like Gigi tonight, like I didn't turn on the game, see Gigi leave Karis LeVert wide open, or is Reese Shea at that point, and be like, oh, Taylor doesn't have it. I'm like, no, Gigi gets lost on defense all the time. That's unfortunately the reality there. But it just feels like it's way too late in the season for all that stuff to still not be figured out. And then coming back to Keith's thing, that's the one thing that's undeniable. And I've never thought it was time to fire Taylor Jenkins. And if he turns it around in the playoffs, then hallelujah, praise the Lord, we'll take it. And he can live to coach another life in Memphis. But if he can't figure it out, then yeah, it's clearly amazing development coach that can't make the right decisions at the right time.
I brought this up, and hey, Keith, thank you for this, by the way. I thought great question. It brought out my it made me and Nate stop fighting, so that was important. But I did bring this up, and I want to ask your opinion on it. And look, me and King Meeks are in the same we're same thing. I said Taylor Jenkins, in my opinion, would be amazing to be like president of basketball operations, like go into the front office, more similar to how Brad Stevens left the coaching and went up to the front office, hired, Udoka, ended up then hiring Mazzulla, but then like has done a good job of just kind of orchestrating that franchise in a sense. But I'm not talking about drafting. I'm not talking about anything else. It just seems like he has like an understanding of what's going on, basketball operations, development, all that kind of good stuff. I think Taylor Jenkins, that's actually his best role for him personally, than actually being a on the sideline coach. Am I an idiot or no?
No, I don't think it's bad at all. I think he's a great development guy. He's a great assistant coach for sure.
Oh,
I think he's a great head coach for young teams.
Yeah.
Like this team didn't rally around Taylor Jenkins for no reason. This team doesn't love Taylor Jenkins for no reason. Right. And this team hasn't won a bunch of games every regular season other than the one you're derailed by injury is for no reason. Right? Like this, he has done a really good job coaching this team as they were young, but doesn't feel like he's the guy to take them over the top.
Yeah. No doubt.
And it seems to play out again and again.
Yeah. I will say that, yes, I think his tenure is nearing an end for sure. I don't know if we're getting to the point of firing completely. In honesty, I think we're getting closer to the end of put up or shut up. And I think we've been there, but I think we're really there for sure. And I don't want this whole entire show to be about Taylor Jenkins, because that's not what we lost the game tonight. But just kind of talking through a lot of this, I do think that this is a guy that we have to look at and say, hey, he's not produced in the big moments. The problem is, and I always say this, he's not had the big sample size of a healthy roster in the playoffs. Once he gets that, I think you can kind of make a decision. But I said, losing the first round, you get rid of him. You don't, depending on what the second round looks like, you can also look at it. But also, Ja has to play and quit being that dude. Like, figure it out.
Well, I'm not going to get on Ja for this shoulder injury that we talked about when it happened. Those things linger. Like the AC joints are no joke. So
no doubt.
Like I'm not sitting there thinking Ja's like resting, whatever. That those ACs act up a lot after you hurt them. But I don't think you need the healthy roster. I think you've got to figure it out. Like you've sort of given us a sample size. One, you've had some playoffs. Two, you just had the samples of the regular seasons built up. And three, we're getting what we're getting now. Nobody is surprised by the lack of execution and the fact there's coaching mistakes.
Did you freeze?
And
oh, there you are.
Did I just freeze completely out?
You did. You're good now.
Was I making a pretty face at least?
No.
Don't really care. But if you get there and you don't have a healthy roster, I don't think you can sit there and just keep going, okay, well, the roster wasn't healthy. Let's give them another chance when you have such a large sample size at this point of the same mistakes being made.
Yeah.
Like you can't keep doing that because you can't keep gambling with this team when your window of having money to work around the margins is quickly closing. And if Jaren plays 6 more games this year, that money's gonna get real tight real fast.
Yeah. Austin, bro. I love you, man, but that is wild.
Greer, hold on. Greer's back. We've been saying so many good things about Zach, and you missed them all. We've been saying so many.
He's been here all night. He's been all night.
And you just got in here. It's
okay. He's been here.
No, he hasn't.
Because some people say Greer, and I look at it and it's spelled differently, and I'm like, oh, that's not me.
And to be clear, I've seen a bunch of people in here talking about the roster's not good enough. Yes, we're all in agreement. The roster isn't good enough.
Yeah,
but the roster is good enough to win in these situations they've been in.
Yeah. Last time I want to talk about TJ, Taylor Jenkins, whatever. Smooth Southpaw, an OG here. TJ Hatter's going to talk too loud, and then we'll be left with a Jamal Mosley type. That's the issue. Is I'm down with moving on from a coach. I could care less about Taylor Jenkins. We talk before every game, but besides that, I have no ties to him. The only thing that scares me to death is what we would move on to. But you can't be scared to death, in all honesty, if you trust the front office that they'll make a good decision. I don't trust the front office right now. And I have not, and I just don't get Kleiman right now. Like, I know a lot of people love the way he's drafted and that's a scouting team. Like, you being able to manage the roster and give the roster what you need, that's where I'm at. And yes, does the coach suck at the late game stuff right now? Yes. But in the end of the day, the roster has no vets. They're not built to win a championship. Like, they are not at all. Like, they're built to make it to the second round, and whatever happens, happens. And at that point, that's where I'm at. But I do think there's potential. I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, I'm completely out, but I'm just like, I don't see what I want to see from this team at all. So anyway, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I just love looking around and sort of seeing, like, I clearly don't spend as much time on Twitter as you. I haven't even seen your little spat from today, but I'm sure I'll find it entertaining.
I'm not on Twitter a lot, and I don't comment a lot, but today me and Rusty got into it. We thought we'd have some fun.
I'm sure I'll see it all later on. But Rusty won, whatever it was. Rusty won. Beside the point.
Alan likes you.
Well, Alan's a good guy. This team, I was at a point where I was like, you know what? They're not good enough to win the championship this year. They just don't have the roster. But at least we can just have fun. Just like rooting for this team. Hope like John Morant starts looking like John Morant again. We can just have fun. Maybe they catch a wave and we see what happens. And now I'm just like, this isn't even fun. It's just not even fun. They just keep blowing it. Stuff keeps going wrong. It's making me really sad. And I'm just like, all right. Wednesday night is a chance to turn it all around. And then Jaren rolls an ankle. I'm like, God dang. Because let me tell you something. Not having Jaren is like that's number one kills what this team can do. You need John Morant to push this team over the top. Like, you need John Morant to be superstar John Morant to win at the highest level. Night in and night out, Jaren is what dominates games for you. And so no Jaren on Wednesday, which is probably what I would assume we would anticipate. Tough. But you're right. They got to build a roster, man. They got to build a roster around them. At some point, you can't just keep saying, hey, we tried. It's like, your job's not to try. Job's to do.
No doubt. Well, the Grizzlies couldn't beat the Hawks tonight, lose 132 to 130. And as Steven Shigog, maybe, one, thank you all for hanging out with us. The seeing a lot of the new faces, new names, whatever, the new accounts. I love seeing that. I enjoy seeing the new people. I also enjoy seeing you OGs that come through here every night. But seeing the new people comment, one, feeling comfortable to comment into a community, a chat is always good, because, you don't want to be the chat that kind of just runs over everybody in a sense. And so I'm glad that everybody feels confident and commenting and chatting about that. So awesome as always. A huge number tonight. I figured it would be after 3 losses. People being a little frustrated and tuning in, but we still have GrizzleVerse. We still have the look ahead. It's just gonna be a late night. So listen, I hope you used the restroom before you got here. But anything else you want to have in that you want to kind of put a bow on, just overall?
Go Grizz. It's depressing. Let's keep going. Let's move forward.
All right. Well, this is your therapy session for sure, but we're gonna have a little fun. This is Grizz 901. I am Daniel. That is Nate. We always try to do our best and have fun with the chat. We also like to have fun with the GrizzleVerse, which we've termed a little bit of the dark side of Twitter in a sense. So I hope you enjoy this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I even was able to, go Trash Pandas. I was able to throw in our producer / owner into this next one. So I hope everybody enjoys it for sure. It should be a good time. But the first thing I want to say, you know what? I'm going to leave it till last. But where is the GrizzleVerse? I don't even have it tuned up. What happened?
That would be amazing.
If I didn't have it ready?
Yes.
I have it in here.
Your little toy wasn't ready to go.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't have it ready to go. I'm like literally looking at it and I do not see it anywhere in here. Anyway. So the GrizzleVerse.
You're the GrizzleVerse.
Yeah, I am the GrizzleVerse. But no, I enjoy it. My interactions with Rusty Buckets. Go check them out tomorrow. The $2 Sports Show. But whatever you do, let Drew know that he is the favorite of the $2 Sports Show. Never give in to the Rusty Needle, Rusty Buckets himself, because no, we don't give in to old Rusty Buckets over there. But no, this is very simple. We just find a lot of what's happening on the dark side of Twitter, and we make sure we put it into its own little thing over here that we call the GrizzleVerse. All right, this is the GrizzleVerse episode 2, but I want to go ahead and bring in something that was important. And no, there is no apologies. Saint's trying to apologize to everybody about the GrizzleVerse. There are no apologies. It is what it is.
I still feel like we've got to have some kind of trademark or copyright issue with that. Feels like there's got to be some kind of
that is my music that I paid for.
It's not the music, Daniel. It's the Death Star sitting in the background. So that's more so what I'm getting at. But that's okay.
We'll be all right. All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed it. I made sure I put Kenny's name in there for Sir Kenneth himself. But the first GrizzleVerse entry, and Nate, these are going to be ones that you're going to give a score to, just as you did last time.
Can we get a rundown of some of our scores from last time? What's the high score and how many?
8.2 is the highest, and tonight we have a total of 10 and a 10. Bonus.
Lord have mercy. All right, let's knock these out. I'm sleepy.
Dude, you're such a
dad. You're such an old man.
There are 10 with a bonus tonight. So this is the first one. I just wanted to bring this one up because it was important to me. This is what I saw on Twitter. For one, Grindhouse, Grizzlies, the Spaces guy, whatever, Goofy Troop, Jackasses of the Week, hashtag Timu Grizzlyland, hashtag GrizzleVerse. Grizzlyland, one, if that's the artwork, I'm not sure. Their artwork guy needs to have a call. But just wanted to share this. People are a little jealous of our GrizzleVerse over here. And so I love it. I love it.
That Goofy Troop is a hilarious phrase, though.
Goofy Troop.
I would say the Goofy Troop Jackasses of the Week is hilarious.
Right. Let's go this one. All right. So this is from NDQ, and it says, as many of these unicorn bigs they growing nowadays, you can't tell me there isn't another Jaren out there.
I guess we throw another one in. Is there another category to this besides Jaren haters? Or they all kind of fall into that same bucket?
They're around that area. They a lot of people that hate Jaren and want to trade Jaren, but there's other topics we're getting into.
Okay. I will go with a. It's not an 8.2, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna go with a.
The fact that he said as many of these unicorn bigs they grow.
I'll go with the 7.2 question mark. 7.2. I feel like directly just deciding you don't like Jaren kind of warrants a 6.5 in and of itself. And also, I just don't feel like there are many people who can do what Jaren can do on any given night. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, it's far from the craziest we've seen.
Yeah, Insane's over here. We're doing all this, and your guy Jenkins and Shambles. The fact that you think that we care is the funny part. I give two shits about Jenkins, but hey, thanks for hanging out. All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, we're in shambles. But Rory here says, I said this weeks ago, 12 days and Bill Street Blue are coming to an end. One more year, tops. Exactly. Right. You gonna wake up one day, check your socials, and see Taylor Rooks is tweeting 12 demands a trade, and then you see Shams tweeting, and we're off and running. It's coming.
I think it's funny throwing Taylor Rooks. I do think that is funny in and of itself. I will give this. I don't know. It's not as exciting or as direct as hating on Jaren, so I'll give it a 6.6. We'll go a 6.6 here. It's not a direct hating on
terrible.
A player. Ja has been legitimately frustrated, but saying Ja's gone in 1 year, I think it's towards the crazy side. However, Luka did just get traded, so we'll knock it down a point due to the Luka recency bias. So,
Keith said, "Oof, Rory, get off the weed."
These aren't all that wild. These are not as crazy as last time. It feels like
we have 10. All right, let's get to the next one. Guaranteed the Grizzlies moved to Nashville, they'd win a title.
I refuse. Just the fact you brought Nashville in at all is just crazy. I don't.
This is from Grit and Grind Mafia.
Grit and Grind Mafia.
Is it the Nashville kid that's like trying to be Memphis?
That just feels wrong. To say it's the Grit and Grind Mafia, and then you want the Grizzlies to leave Memphis.
It's a Nashville kid trying to be cool.
I'm just confused. I'm just confused. The Grizzlies moved to Nashville to win a title. I feel like this doesn't even get a score. You're just disqualified. You're just disqualified from whatever. Insert thing here. Grizzlies fandom. I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't hate Nashville nearly as much as a lot of people in Memphis hate Nashville.
I love Nashville, but
I don't like. But I'm still like, this is an absurd thing to say as a Grizzlies fan. So
moving the Grizzlies there would be a joke.
I feel like you're just DQ'd from Grizz fandom.
All right. Let's see if we can DQ one more. What? No way. Look at Memphis has over Nashville. 1, 2, 3. Bye, Grizz.
Same thing. DQ'd. I don't know why these Nashville ones are in here.
God, I thought you'd enjoy these.
No, I think these are silly. These are silly. These have nothing to do with my life.
God, you are zero fun. All right, let's go to this one. OG, ain't that real? Trade Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight, dog. Facepalm emoji.
What did I give the one earlier? A 7.2?
7.2.
Okay. 7.5. Like, I don't know. You don't get disqualified from Grizz fandom because you clearly care, but I just don't understand. I don't understand Jaren hate at this point. I just don't.
They're trying hard.
I just don't understand why you would hate Jaren Jackson Jr. at this point. But anything that's Jaren hate is an automatic 6.5.
You knew who would we get a response from?
No, Goon can't be in the GrizzleVerse. No one would ever have a chance. No one would ever shot if Goon was in the GrizzleVerse.
All right, let's go to this next one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more. We're halfway through. We're good. All right, so this is from Coach Vaughn. I gotta pull it up because I can't even see it anymore. Yeah, the season's over. The boys will fight, but this was a wasted year. Janky, talking about Taylor Jenkins. Janky business happening with this coaching staff and front office.
I mean, I don't know, like a 2.1.
I was about to say, I thought this was the one that you would like the most.
Like, what are we talking? Like, that's nothing about that's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna. I mean, it's a little bit melodramatic to say the season is over and all that. Like, that's a little bit like, so boppery.
Well, this was during their winning streak too. Like, this wasn't even like a bad part of the year. Oh, and so a lot of these don't feel as bad because we're on a 3-game losing streak and about to face the Thunder. That's why it all comes about when it's happening.
Okay. Well, if it's during the middle of their winning streak, I would say maybe like a 3.8 to 4.1 stuff. But like, given the state of affairs, that's a 2.1. Like, but it was right now. At no point would that have been crazy after the trade deadline. Like, honestly, we don't think this roster is good enough. We don't think Taylor Jenkins can get the job done. I don't think anything about that's wild. So, honestly, yeah, 1.2. Like, I don't think that's crazy at all. Other than the season's over, I'm going to bump it up. Yeah, sorry, 1.8 because you can still enjoy what we have with this team for a little bit.
All right, let's keep it going. 4 more left. All right. I've been saying this all year, but anyone paying attention to where things are headed over the next 2 years or so, they're going to have to end up moving Bane. It's almost inevitable.
4.2?
Really?
Yeah, dude. I don't think that's wild at all, to be honest.
You would move. You don't think moving Desmond Bane would be crazy?
No, because that's if you want to go get a major piece, you're highly likely to have to move a major piece. And it's not going to be Ja and it's not going to be Jaren. Now, you may not have to move a major piece. Maybe it all comes together around him. That's why I'm like, okay, like we're jumping the gun. It's not like a 1.8 or whatever it was before. But yeah, like in all seriousness, like me and Ryan talked about it. If you're going to go get KD, probably going to have to move Desmond Bane. It's probably okay. Like, Des is awesome. Like, that's part of the reason that I don't think this is crazy. If you're going to get someone awesome, you got to move someone awesome. But when it comes to paying these guys, like, who are you going to be the most willing to pay? Ja and Jaren.
Yeah.
And if you're paying Ja, Jaren, and Dez, you're really handicapped on what you're doing around that. So there's a lot of reasons, whether it's money wise or big fish hunting, to move Dez. So I don't think that's crazy.
Okay. As Shane's saying here, who else is waiting to see if some of their dumb crap from X is going to make the list?
Oh, dude, if I tweeted, Daniel already put me on here.
I would have put you up there instantly. And I don't put some people up here because their stuff is annoying, but they'll whine and cry and then like causing issues. So I don't put their stuff up here either.
I don't know. We did get called Goofy Gang jackasses. What was it called? Was it Goofy Gang? It's a hilarious
Goofy
thing.
Troop.
Goofy Troop. That's fun to say. Goofy Troop jackasses is a hilarious thing to say.
But if you could do me a favor, because I do all this myself and Nate helps with nothing because he's lazy. But if anybody could help me, go ahead and send me DMs of stuff you see, if you don't mind. If you see something in GrizzleVerse, send me just a DM, either at Daniel Greer or at Grizz901 Live, or you can put in there hashtag GrizzleVerse, or just somehow just at Grizz901. Anyway, do me a favor. I need more help because Nate does nothing for me.
I'm doing something right now. Just to be real clear.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, thanks for hopping in. We're not saying to move Dez. I'm saying I don't think it's wild to move him because there's a lot of realistic reasons to move him. But they could build around him and it all works out with your big three. That would be awesome. But is it crazy to say it's going to have to happen? Or it could happen? Nah, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, what I won't do is ever show you me, Nate, and Ryan's group chat.
Yeah, I don't even like our group chat half the time. I checked in today. I was like, I'm not watching that.
not checking that out. All right, so these are the last three real quick. And this is a double. God, I got to pull this one up. It's too small on my screen. I don't want to, but it's time to start booking these best player on the team tweets. Because, yeah, it's going to be effing hilarious in another 2 months.
The children.
If Jaren had another coach, he'd rebound better.
Jaren had another coach, he'd rebound better. Oh, acting like Spo. Okay. I just don't like, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just so desensitized to the Jaren haters at this point. Okay. I don't think the first one is all that wild. Because I don't think Jaren is the best player on the team tweets. Now, going out of your way to be a hater is pretty crazy. So, again, automatic 6.5. But I don't think he's the craziest. I'll go with 6.9. And all the Lord's people said nice. But we're going with the 6.9 because I'm at 6.5. But I actually don't think it's that crazy to say that he's not the best player on the team. Now, the other one is hating on Jaren rebounding. I feel like we ignore the fact that Jaren is the free safety rim protector, and he's not going to get a bajillion rebounds. And also, he has been rebounding better. And also, having Spo for one summer in Team USA is the same as having a full coach. I don't know. I guess I'll just factor in the fact it's just continuous Jaren hate for some reason. I'll go with a 7.6, I guess. Yeah, we'll go 7.6. Why not?
All right. It's the highest of the night so far.
Yeah, just the continuous Jaren hate was wow to me.
Post some Ryan Meadows tweets. As
you could get Ryan for some good ones, actually.
Ryan never posts. I never see him post ever.
Oh, I bet you I could find something.
It's just dumb stuff, and you don't even know what he's watching. That's half the issues.
Well, he's full tinfoil hat. There is something out there you could do.
You know, one guy I did look for is Joe Mullinax. I could not find anything. I literally couldn't. Like I tried my hardest. Keith Parrish, I don't like him, so I'm not gonna do anything with him. Let me guess. Sane's upset. Imagine that. All right, let's keep going. The next one real quick. Let's go to Memphis. Mike 1. Attention, all Grizz fans. We all love Triple J, but for the future of the team, we cannot give this dude $350 million. So please, hope and pray for Mobley to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I did see this before.
I have so many issues with this.
Well, see, this is a little bit different because we're not doing it's not like just hating on Jaren. Starts out with how much we love Jaren. So you don't get the automatic 6.5. That being said, rooting against your player to win an award and make a lot of money, let's go to the other side of that first, actually. Let's go to the other side. Saving the Grizz money would not be bad. like the Grizz having a lot more money to work with is obviously a good thing. I get that. As a fan, rooting against your player to win an award is just wrong.
It doesn't make sense.
It's just wrong. So here's the dilemma, though. He's not wrong, but that's just wrong. So I don't know. I don't know what to do there. I'm with Rage. It's just
weird.
It's just a weird take.
So the funny thing is,
it's not crazy.
But what's wrong with this is he's hoping that Evan Mobley wins.
It's just wrong.
The Defensive Player of the Year. But he could easily be in an all NBA team, first, second, or third, and the same thing happens. It doesn't make sense. It's just a dumb take to me.
Just wrong. I don't feel like it's I don't think it's something you rank. It's just wrong. I'll give it an even 5. It makes logical sense, but it's just
you're boring tonight.
Just wrong.
Your content not good. All right, let's go to the last one.
Toy.
All right, this is the last one tonight. You got a whole segment on your show talking about GrizzleVerse. Like everyone in the spaces knows nothing about ball and just calls for heads to roll. You always have something to say about it when they do more numbers than your pod. I take some notes, my guy.
Okay. Well, this feels like a personal beef for you. So why don't you go ahead and rank this one? This feels personal.
I don't care. It was funny. He was so mad at me. I don't even know I've never seen Mr. Bombay in my life. And he's so angry. So I thought you'd enjoy it.
Well, I didn't. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll let you rank this one. Like I said, it feels like a bit of a personal spat. One of your Twitter spats I haven't seen.
So enough about GrizzleVerse because you were boring night. Let's go into the look ahead.
Let's look ahead to Wednesday night's home matchup for our Memphis Grizzlies against the best team in the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Barring injury situation for the Memphis Grizzlies, this is pretty simple. This is going to be a short one because the Thunder are awesome. They're the best team in the West, favorites to make the NBA Finals, and a real shot to actually winning the championship this year. It's pretty simple for the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, their biggest problem has been turnovers, right? The Thunder are one of the best teams in turning teams over while also not turning over the ball themselves. So they are a low turnover team while forcing a high number of turnovers. So for the Grizzlies to stay competitive and pull this win off, they're going to have to control the turnovers on their own end and actually convert into open shots instead of creating fast break and transition opportunities for the Thunder. So hopefully we have everyone somewhat healthy and this will be a competitive game. Maybe we'll get some playoff looks and some different lineups. This is a kind of game where you just throw different stuff out there and kind of see what sticks for a potential future playoff matchup.
All right, your thoughts about the game Wednesday?
I don't want to think about the game Wednesday.
All right, that's all we got.
It's hilarious that Ryan goes in there and says, hopefully we have everyone relatively healthy. It's just Jaren got hurt while he was making that probably. He's probably in the middle of putting that together and Jaren got hurt. So
before the game.
Listen, it would actually, in all seriousness, it'd be awesome to see a superhuman effort. You can't imagine Ja doesn't play. You don't get pretty much everybody other than maybe Jaren if he's hurt, but That's super tough to overcome. At the same time, maybe get a superhuman effort from Ja. That would be super awesome to see if you get that. But outside of that, man, the team needs to be super locked in on defense. They have not been. They need to be able to defend the 3-point line, not overhelp, play hard one-on-one defense. And I just don't think that doesn't seem like it's in the cards, basically, they've been playing. So we'll see.
It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be crazy. Just see who all comes back. I would assume Ja comes back. I would assume that we get another Desmond Bane game just overall. I don't see him going on the injury report after that. There's no way that he can run from that game just in general. But I don't think we see Jaren for a while. I think Santi will come back. I think we'll have a pretty clean, just kind of injury report just overall. But after that, I think that we'll have Jaren out for a good amount of time. But that's all we got. The Grizzlies end up losing tonight, just overall 132-130. And it was a game that we didn't love, and a game that we thought the Grizzlies would win, and then they ended up looking that way at the very last possession of the game with a chance to win the game, and they ended up just kind of just letting it all go away. A big play out of Dyson Daniels just overall. So kind of take your hat off to him a little bit, but there's got to be something that gets figured out from this. But listen, maybe we'll fire their coach tonight. I don't know. Hopefully that all makes you happy, we'll go. But if you end up losing a coach, you're going to lose a season. That's just a guarantee. So we'll all wait. So anyway, that's all we got. We'll see everybody next time, I guess Wednesday night. Be nice and tell your friends.